Greetings everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed here and we've returned back to Fatal 12. In the last time, our friend Keiko unfortunately was eliminated by numero 12, who we get to learn his name is Alan Scorpion, and I believe he's going to be the main threat in the 4th week. I wake up feeling refreshed. I must have gotten a good night's sleep for the first time in a while. Keiko has been eliminated, but I don't feel sad about it, just empty. My eyes wander over to my table. Both the letter I have received from Keiko and the one I had written are both there. However, when I get up and take a closer look at Keiko's letter, its contents have vanished. Her actions during divine selection, as well as her efforts, have been erased. I next check my transcription of her letter and confirm that it remains intact. This proves that those eliminated will be remembered by other participants, but their actions at large will be undone. However, not all traces of her actions have been erased. The letter she gave me still bring here proves that much. Had I been eliminated, chances are that my letter wouldn't have been disappeared either, just what I'd written on it. In other words, that goddess can't rewrite the world's events completely. That might explain why Naomi has a faint recollection of an event that is supposed to have been undone. Speaking of Naomi, I'm curious to learn how much she remembers about Keiko. I can't bring myself to ask her though. I'd rather she remain as uninvolved as possible. Miharu, Naomi. I end up shouting their names without thinking. I can't help myself, considering the circumstances. I grit my teeth and rush to get ready for school. Another wonderful school day indeed. Oh? I've come across Naomi right as I arrive at the school gate. It's a bit awkward seeing her now, after what happened last week. Regardless, I'll try and act as I usually would and say good morning to her. So I imagine you got contact lenses now, Naomi. Good morning. I'm going to start preparing for the culture festival today, so I have to come up with ideas for our signboard and decorations. Of course, I also plan on teaching everyone how to brew coffee. I can't say I'm too confident, but I'll do my best to teach them as well as you taught me. Promise me that you'll visit our room during the festival. Of course I will. I noticed a remarkable difference she's made between Saturday and now. She seems to have changed her hairstyle as well. Did you switch to contact lenses? Aww. Unfortunately for some people, I haven't tried them myself, as I do wear glasses, but for some people it actually irritates their eyes when they wear contact lenses. I did. I actually wanted to make the switch for a while now, so my glasses breaking gave me a great excuse to do so. After that exchange, we both make our way into the building separately. I can tell she's tiptoeing around what happened last week. Oh dear. Something else is on my mind all throughout the day at school. I think the son was born after, so therefore the son's birth was not eliminated because that already transpired during the process of her being eliminated. So therefore, Keiko's son was born and then Keiko herself died. Has Keiko's son been born following her elimination? That's why I made my way to the hospital, figuring they would at least tell me that much. As it turns out, he has indeed been born, but at the same time he informed me that Keiko passed away 3 weeks ago. With that knowledge I gained, I take a seat in the lounge to collect myself. It's not easy to deal with learning that someone's died. Huh? When I sat down, a man wearing a suit and carrying a baby passes by. He must have just gotten examined. Excuse me? Turns out it's Keika's husband. I've never spoken to him before, but I summoned the courage to do so now. I don't want to keep him for too long, so the conversation only lasts 5 minutes. His mother lives close by, he claims, so she's currently taking care of the baby. He left work early today since it needed an examination though. He says he wants to do as much with the baby as he can. I was worried considering what Keika had said about her mother-in-law wanting to give the baby a more trendy name, but she actually sounds like a nice lady. The baby's name, however, really takes me by surprise. Kambuchi Haruki. Though through some miracle, he ends up being given the name that Keika wanted him to have. Okay. Keika must have told her husband about the reason behind naming choice while she was still alive. The Kei, or Kai? No, cane represents a type of olive plant in China, as well as Japan's Katsura trees. Her name is in reference to how pleasant smells are associated with sincerity. Not only that, but also because her parents wanted her to be as healthy and sturdy as a Katsura tree. Having remembered that after Keika's death, her husband told his mother that he wanted to decide on the baby's name himself. He wanted to give the child a name linked to trees like his mother, but couldn't think of anything appropriate. Because he wanted his son to be straightforward and earnest, he decided to use a kanji for tree, and then added Haru at the beginning, since the child was born in spring, thus Haruki. I think back to what Keika has written in her letter. I never was as healthy and sturdy as I hoped, but the desire to be remained in my heart until the very end. Names represent a parent's hopes and dreams for their child, so please treasure the name you've been given. I'll make my way back to Lionhouse once our conversation ends. I can't sit and twiddle my thumbs anymore. From here on out I need to act with dignity. I imagine that guy will be targeting us. The one that we dealt with last time, and the one who threatened Keika. 3 days have now passed since Keika's elimination. In terms of information, I am a bit of a standstill. I plan on doing more research on Alan, but finding the time has proven difficult, considering I can't just close the store. Time isn't the only issue either. There's also the fact I'm just plain suck at doing proper research. I'm aware that I can't let things go on like this. Right. I decided to close the store and head to the library for a bit today. I could look for business reports and interviews that involve him, maybe. I have to force myself not to consider how much easier it would be if Naomi were there with me. Yeah, take into account what Naomi's taught you and then go from there. But after closing up the store and before going to the library, I come across an unexpected scenario. A lone girl is lying on the pavement. Looks like she's passed out. She is one of the other participants. You're someone similar to her, so maybe you're Numerial 6 or one of the other random ones. One of the ones who have not been identified. I believe so anyways. Do I talk to her or do I leave her be? No, we're a yes person, so we're gonna talk to her. Excuse me? I tap on her shoulder and call out to her with concern in my voice. Okay. She reacted to my voice, so I know she's conscious at least. At first I thought I had to call an ambulance, but it looks like there's no need. After a while she turns to look at me. I feel myself turn pale as her face is revealed by the sunlight. I've seen her 3 times, not just anywhere, but in a dream world, at the Court of Fate. This is Numerial 10. Why are you here? Don't tell me you know my name as well. If that's the case, this is bad. It would have meant I've spent too much time on things other than divine selection. I'm so caught up in investigating Anna that I forgot about all the other participants.
Sonya wa Sophia Pliznetsi Alexeyevna
Quite Eastern Europe. Quite easy. Look, how much voice is there needed in one line? My name is Sonya. Say Eastern European or Russian orientated. Origin, sorry. Way too long. So call me Sonya. She doesn't even have to stand up. Doesn't even stand up to introduce herself. Are you alright? Like in the head? I insult her almost out of instinct. But can you blame me? No participant should just introduce themselves like that. You have a request. I say nothing, so she keeps on going. What do you mean you... No. She asked for a meal in a very stilted manner of speaking. Based on the blonde hair and blue eyes, I presume she's from Russia or somewhere else in Northern Europe. She shouldn't be able to understand or speak Japanese without the aid of her card book either. However, unlike Alan, there are noticeable flaws in her language fluency. I don't even have my book on me right now, which must mean... Do you understand Japanese? You have good taste, Sonya. I like you already. Okay, I'm sorry, but my hunger is almost at its limit. I will lose my ability to speak in approximately 5 seconds. What? Hold on. She shuts her mouth after dropping that bombshell, as if her batteries run out of juice. Oh dear. Aww. I do feel sorry for her, so I end up taking her to a nearby family restaurant. I do this for thumbnail purposes, okay? There's plenty to eat at Linehouse, but letting another participant in probably isn't the smarter course of action. Thus, I brought her here instead. I'm shocked to learn that she seems to have told the truth about her name. I checked my book before leaving, and lo and behold, I have obtained a new card. She hasn't uttered a single word about her food-related shutdown, so I ordered her some spaghetti bolognese and Salisbury steak. Those seem like safe bets for someone her age. When the food does arrive, Sonya's body shoots up straight as an arrow. Aww. Rub-a-dub-dub, thanks to the grub. Oh dearie me. Those sparkly eyes are too cute to resist. I thought you were unable to speak. She ignores my reaction and proceeds to dig in. I figure she'll go hog wild, but no. She takes her time to wrap the pasta around her fork. She even used a knife and fork to cut the Salisbury steak. She even finishes off all of the corn that comes on the side without issue. What's more, she eats all the pasta without splashing any sauce. Hard to believe that someone who had just collapsed from hunger could be such a daunty eater. Aww. Delicious. Japanese food is truly exquisite. Is that how you died by any chance? That you died by starvation? Thank you for saving me from death by starvation. I'm pretty sure we were told that we can't die outside of being eliminated. I wonder what would have happened if I ignored her. No point in thinking about it. I guess chances are someone else would have done the same thing I did. The big city might be somewhat heartless, but I doubt people would be willing to ignore a child who had collapsed on the street. Now that you're revitalized, it's time to tell me all about you. Call me Sonya. Also, I apologize for the blunt request, but... Oh, it looks like she can use some more difficult words after all. I brought my book along, and her bag looks like it can fit hers, so right now we should both have them with us. Despite that, her stilted speech remains. She really must be speaking Japanese all on her own. If she were speaking Russian, then the book would translate it into fluent Japanese for me.
腹が空いているであります。他のものも注文してよいでありますか？
It seems that I happen to still be hungry. Could I maybe order something else? I'm about to say no, and she says enough. But then she unleashes her sad puppy dog eyes on me. Fine. But I need something small, okay?
ちょっとだけだよ。
I heave a sigh after checking my purse. I wish I knew why I was being this kind to another participant. Wow, there's so much here. She struggles to contain her excitement at the menu option.
Sonya はファミレスというところに初めて来たであります。
You can't choose all of it, okay?
目移りしてしまって選べないでありますよ。
This is my first time coming to a family restaurant. There's so much, but I don't know what to choose.
洋食も和食も中華もどれもあるなんて。ボルチまであります。
Oh, from
昔
Western.
の地で食す母国料理がどんな味か興味も湧いてきたであります。
From Western to Japanese to Chinese, they even have broshket. Now I think I am curious about Japanese take on my homeland's food.
時々変な言葉になるよね。で、ボルシチが母国料理ってことは、
Hey, are you
ソニ
saying
アはロシアの出身ってこと？
are you saying Russians are weird? Your wording sure gets weird sometimes. So I take it you're Russian?
はい、ボルシチは正確にはウクライナ料理でありますが、ロシアでも一般的な料理であります。
So my assumption of Eastern European is a bit of a nail on the head, really. I am. Technically, borscht is from Ukraine, but it is also a Russian cuisine staple.
でもさ、ロシアにもファミレスはあるんじゃないの？だったらそこまで珍しがらないでも。
Now, I've heard Russia is quite a backwards country, unfortunately. How can you be this excited over a family restaurant, then? I'm fairly sure they exist in Russia as well.
ソーニャ、家にいることがほとんどでしたから。あ、決めました。ネギトロ丼と親子丼とカツ丼にします。
One thing, please. I already got to leave the house, you see. Also, I've decided I will have the... Oh, I can't pronounce those.
あ、ボルシチ頼まないんだ。っていうか、全部丼物でいいの？お米の量がすごいことになるよ。
Not going for a borscht? Huh? Hang on, are you sure about this? You're gonna get a ton of
い
rice.
や、そもそも3つも追加注文するの。ちょっとっ
Yeah.
て言ったよね。
Wait, no, I don't remember saying you could get 3 more entries.
ダメ。
No, you can have one more thing. She turns her head and rubs her stomach. Just make sure you eat all of it.
ちゃんと食べきってね。
Yeah. Sonya watches with starry eyes as I press the buzzer that summons one of the waitstaff. Guess she's never seen that either. I can't help but sigh in disbelief at how big of a pushover I am while she happily eats her bolus of food. I really am an easy target, aren't I? It could all be part of her plan too. She uses the fact that she's a kid to lure me into a false insecurity and then takes advantage of it to get all sorts of info out of me. Granted, I don't get that impression from her whatsoever, especially when she's the one who revealed her own information to me. I sigh again, this time in regard to how confusing this whole situation is. Ugh, my head hurts.
お腹いっぱいであります。
Thanks. Now I'm
ごちそうさま
stuffed.
でしたであります。
Thank you for the food. She's cleaned out all 3 bowls without skipping a beat.
お箸使えるんだ。
You can use chopsticks too?
はい。ソーニャは日本が大好きでありますから。
Yes,
言葉も文化もたくさん勉強しました。
I love Japan, so I studied lots about its culture and language.
日本は侍と魔法少女の国であることはバッチリ勉強してきたであります。ぜひ
Sometimes,
一度会ってみたいものであります。
sometimes samurais and magical girls are the same people. If you catch my drift. I'm aware that Japan is the land of samurai and magical girls. It would be my pleasure to meet them
と
someday.
ころでそこの 嬢様。
Incidentally, my young miss.
お嬢様っていうのは違うかな。名前を教えるわけにもいかないし。
Sis.
お姉さんの方がいいかな。
Okay, stop. You're definitely not calling me that. I can't tell you my name either, so how about sis?
では改めまして、お姉様。
Is it
お
more
願い
food?
があります。
Very well, sister. I have another request to make of you. I decided not to bother pointing out that I just told her to just use sis.
この流れだとデザート？もういいよ。その代わりデザート食べたらちゃんと話してね。
I'm guessing your
これは
request.
約束。
I'm guessing your request is for some dessert. Fine, but promise me we'll talk once you're done.
ありがとうございます。
Yes, I promise.
そのボタンはソーニャに押させてください。
Press it once. Oh, let me press the button, Bo. She ends up getting both apart. Oh, for goodness sakes! Oh my goodness sakes, it's gonna end up expensive for poor me. She ends up getting both a parfait and a cake for dessert. How she can fit them all into her tiny body. Watching her eat makes me want to go grab something for myself, so I'll order a small parfait. Oh.
ごちそうさまでした。
Delish! She gives me a thorough review of her dessert after obliterating it. I'm amazed she finishes both of hers before I do mine, even if I am taking it slow.
もういいでしょう。
That should be enough, right? I'll make it obvious it's time for her to talk. She may be a kid, but this is still a negotiation. I gave her food in exchange of her telling me what's going on, while she was collapsed outside Lionhouse, and while she revealed her name so readily.
わかりました。
Very well.
ソーニャはソフィア・プリズネツィ・アレクセエブナと申すものであります。長いのでソーニャと呼んでください。
My name is SPA. Wait till on, so call me Sona.
いや、それさっき聞いたから。
Yeah, we did that part already.
お姉様は面白いであります。
Your reactions are fun, sister.
からかってる？
Are you messing with me?
声も怖いであります。
But your voice is also scary.
もってことは他に何が怖いの？
What do you mean also? What else about me is scary?
顔でありますね。初めてお会いした時から怖い方だなぁと思っていました。
Hey, I was born with this face, okay? Don't judge me. Your face, I thought you looked scary from the moment I first saw you. She says it with a bright and gleaming smile. In all honesty, I'm aware that I can look pretty scary at times, but being told that to my face kind of hurts.
で、話をそらさないで。
Right, that's enough of changing the subject.
すみません。お姉様はいい人だったので、もう少しお話をしたかったんでありますけれど、ご迷惑でしたね。
I'm sorry, I just wanted to talk more because you're a kind person, but that's perhaps rude of me.
心配しなくて大丈夫であります。
What?
今
Not.
週末の選定、次の脱落者はソーニャでありますから。
Not to worry though, the next participant to be eliminated will be me. She keeps a smile, but something about her looks sad when she says that. It takes me a moment to process her words, despite the obvious meaning behind them. What? I'm not sure how this situation has come about. We're in the middle of a big city, so naturally this place is crowded. There are plenty of customers waiting to be seated. In other words, the staff kindly asks us to leave after a while. Even though we are in the middle of a conversation, I still haven't fully digested what she means either. That's why.
は
Aww.
あ、すごくいい雰囲気のお店でありますね。
Wow, this is a very nice store. I end up taking Sonya with me back to the Lionhouse. It's the only place I can think of where we're able to sit down and talk. Sonya looks like a middle school student at best, so I doubt much harm can come from this. There's also the fact that the police might have stopped her somewhere. Hard to avoid suspicion when a girl in her school uniform is walking around with a foreign child at night. Meow.
にゃんこ。
It's a kitty cat.
なんでそんな言葉知ってんの？で、レテ、あんた来てたんだね。
You really do know some random words. Didn't realize you were here, Leafy. Feels like I haven't seen Leafy in a while, actually. I know it's been fine, since it still made sure to eat the food I leave out for it.
にゃんこにゃんこ、日本の猫さんもかわいいであります。ほらパサジール、猫さんでありますよ。
Meow meow. Japanese cats are just as cute as I read about. Look, Pazasha is a cat.
にゃ
Aww. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, it's adorable. Pazasha is in reference to Sonya's stuffed animal. It's one of those small plushies you find in toy stores. They fit nicely into your hand. This one's a bear, so it might be appropriate to call it a teddy bear. Sonya is poking and prodding Leafy with it. It'd scratch me up if I tried to do the same thing considering its personality, but right now it's sitting back and taking it despite its obvious displeasure. I wonder if it realises it's dealing with a child.
仕方ない。今日はミルクも用意してあげる。
Oh, well, let me get some milk for you.
ソーニャにもお願いするってあります。
You've already drained us with enough. Some for me too.
はいはい。ちょっと待っててね。
Yeah, yeah, hold your horses. At least I can go about things at my leisure since we're in my house. I place Sonya's chair for table and Leafa's bowl underneath. Once she sits down, I take the seat from across from her. Leafa wastes no time in diving into the milk once finally free from Sonya's grasp. I guess it really didn't enjoy that experience.
さっきの続きでありますね。
Let's continue where we left off. She places both her hands on the glass and takes a sip. You can tell she was raised to be a proper lady based on how she handles things like that. I thought the same back at a family restaurant. I nodded as a mean to urge her to continue, but almost seems like a different person compared to how she was messing around with Leafy.
言葉通りの意味でありました。
I meant what I said.
ですが、お姉様はソーニャのことを信じてくれたでありますね。
You believed in me, yes? That's why you brought me here.
ここに連れてきてくれた。ちゃんと話してあります。
I will tell you about me.
でも聞かせてほしいであります。どうしてソーニャを信じてくれたですか？
But first, I would like to know, please, why did you believe me?
自分の名前を教えたり、次の脱落者だって宣言したりするメリット、あなたにはないでしょう。それに、私の情報を探りたいって感じでもなかった。
Let's see. There's not much for you to gain by saying that after revealing your name to me. That, plus it didn't seem like you were fishing for information on me. It's not like I trusted her out of instinct, and certainly not because she's a kid. That's why I took a detour on our way back here. There could have been someone following us on the off chance that she's cooperated with other participants, so I wanted to make sure of that first.
だからね、あなたには悪いけど、あなたのことを信じたわけじゃないんだ。
Sorry to say this, but I don't flat out trust you. Logic only dictates that you weren't lying. I only trusted myself.
お姉様は顔に似合わず優しいでありますね。
Despite your appearance, you are a kind person.
一言余計なんだけど。
You could have left that first part out. Just as we're about to get in the thick of it, Leafa meows and lies down underneath the table. I assume it feels satisfied after having its milk. Sonya watches it curl up with a smile on its face.
ソーニャの家も猫を飼っていたであります。ソーニャは病気でほとんど家を出ることがなかったでありますから。猫と本とインターネットと、そしてパサジールが友達でした。
We had a cat in my house too. I was always too ill to leave, so it was one of my few friends. The others were books, the internet, and Pazasha.
ソーニャの死因はもう分かったでありますね。病気です。もっと詳しく知りたければ教えますが、必要ですか？
It's almost quite heartbreaking that she's doing this. It's actually quite sad in a way that you're just throwing your life away like that. Yes, you see, my cause of death was illness. I can go into further detail if you wish.
今はあなたの話を続けて。
That's alright, I'd rather hear more about you. Keep going. While not enough to create a new card, I still opt to listen to her life story instead. But that she's telling me this means that she's fine with revealing her cause of death. She really is convinced that she'll be the next person eliminated. But why?
女神の選定によってソーニャは一時的に生きることができています。お姉様と同じように。
Much like you, divine selection has given me another brief chance to live my life.
ソーニャはパパとママに選定のことを話しました。いつもより元気なことがその証明になりました。
I told Papa and Mama about it, and they became convinced when they realized I was feeling much better than usual.
ですが、ソーニャの病気は選定の最後の一人になっても治るものではないと思います。つまり12週間寿命が延びてもその先は長くはないということです。
However, my condition will likely be the way it was before. Even if I do survive these 12 weeks, I won't make it much longer either way.
選定が終わっても病気は完治するわけじゃないってこと。
So, you don't think surviving would also cure you of your condition?
はい、そういうことだと思うであります。
Yes, that is what I believe.
だからソーニャは負けてもいいと思ったであります。代わりに許された時間だけでも外の世界を見たかったであります。
That's why I don't mind losing. So long as I can experience as much of the outside world during this time, but I can, I'm happy.
家の中から世界を見てソーニャは日本に憧れていたであります。日本の文化、忍者侍ではない現実の日本に触れてみたかったであります。
From what I learned about the world at home, Japan caught my interest the most. That's why I wanted to experience its culture, not the ninja and samurai, but Japan as it is now.
カードブックを手にしたとき少しワクワクしてしまったであります。
I was rather excited when I obtained my card book.
ソーニャの大好きな日本のアニメでは魔法少女はこのようなカードとカードブックを使って変身して戦っていました。
Japan's anime holds a special place in my heart, and in one Magical Girl anime, the girl transformed and fought using a book and cards similar to these.
ソーニャの未練は世界を見ることであります。それを叶えたかった。
Not being able to experience the outside world is my regret. That's why I wanted to do so now. Her words trigger my book lighting up, creating a new card. Ah. Sonya smiles when she sees that happen, but unlike her smile in a family restaurant, there is an echo of sadness within it. Oh my, her childlike innocence clashes heavily with her mature realization that she's just come a step closer to being eliminated.
だからしばらく様子を見た後、パパとママと一緒に日本へ旅行することに決めたのであります。
Where are they at the moment? After observing the situation for a while, we finally decided to take a family trip to Japan
ソーニャ
together.
が脱落したらパパもママも旅行のことを忘れちゃうかもしれないですけれど、せめてもらった時間を有意義に使ってみたかったのであります。
Papa and Mama may forget about our trip once I'm eliminated, but at the very least, I wanted to make the most out of my remaining time.
一人でいたってことは何かあったんだね。
You are alone right now, so I'm assuming something happened with them?
はい、その通りであります。
Yes, that's right.
ソーニャたちが様子見をしていた間にソーニャの使命のカードを持っている人はソーニャたちの行動を見張っていたみたいなのでありました。
While we were observing the situation, those with my name card were also watching
空
us.
港に着いてタクシーに乗ったのですが、それこそが罠でした。
They had set a trap for us the moment we landed by means of our taxi.
罠
A trap?
はい、選定の参加者さんでありました。パパとママを殺されたくなければ情報を教えろ、そういう脅しをされてしまったのであります。
They, as in the pirate lady and the Italian mafia guy, probably. Yes, they posed as taxi drivers and threatened to kill Papa and Mama if I didn't tell them didn't tell them all my information. Worst possible situation springs to mind when I hear that. It sounds exactly like something Alan and Scorpion would do.
その人って12の男の人だった。
Was numerical 12 involved by chance?
いいえであります。
No. Her denial only serves to worry me more. All it means is that there are others willing to resort to the same methods as him.
2人組でした。3番の男の人と11番の女の人です。
It was numerical 3 and numerical 11. Those two are working together.
その2人が
Oh, those two.
会ったことありましたですか？
Have you met them before? I shake my head in response. Numerical 3, aiueoKompany. I ended up with his name card during the initial distribution. Having seen him in the dream world multiple times, I know he's tall and slender. As for numerical 11, she's one responsible for eliminating number 7. Much like Alan, her eyes are as fragile as they come. Those two working together definitely comes as a surprise. I figured I would have the advantage against numerical 3 because I have his name card, but if he's with her, that's no longer the case. Realizing that I've interrupted her, I apologize and wait for her to pick up where she left off.
パパとママのため、ソーニャは自分の情報を教えたであります。しかし、男性はそれだけでは済ませない。持っているカードを全部教えろと言ったのであります。
Such violence. I told him everything to save Papa and Mama, but the man said it wasn't enough. He wanted to know about the other cards I held too.
ソーニャは11番の方のカードを持っていたであります。 未練のカードです。だから言ったであります。
That's interesting. I happen to have one of numerical 11's cards. Her regret card.
教えてもいいでありますけれど、仲間割れの原因になるでありますよと女性の方を見ながら。
So I looked her in the eye and said that I could tell him, but it would lead to bad results for them.
怒られるかと思ったであります。でも11番の女性は笑ったのです。
I expected her to get angry, but she just laughed. Damn, she's got more guts than that old geezer despite her age. That's what I'm talking about. I can't believe Sonya threatened me, you know. Geezer. If she wants to see the world, maybe I'll let her after she showing it that kind of bravado. Say what you will, but I like this kid. Numero 11 was apparently full of cheer as she praised Sonya for her rebellious act. She had a condition though. Sonya wasn't allowed to be with her parents until her last day, as a means to prevent them from trying anything. So long as she did that, they were willing to both spare her parents and let her do as she pleases.
そんなの勝手な条件だ。ソーニャのためじゃない。女の人が情報を知られたことを察したから、未練と顔を手がかりにソーニャたちが情報を集めるのを防いだだけ。
Oh, come on, she just wants to prevent you from using her face and regret as a means to get more information on her.
ごめん。
Oops.
いきなり大声出して。
So, sorry for shouting out of nowhere.
お姉様は怖いですけど、優しいでありますね。脱落させるべき相手のソーニャのために怒ってくれるなんて。
While your voice may sound scary, I know that your words are kind. Not many would get angry for the sake of someone they need to eliminate.
でもいいんです。パパとママが助かるであります。それにさっきも言ったように、ソーニャはどうあっても長くは生きられないでありますよ。
Well, as long as Papa and Mama are safe, I'm okay. Besides, like I said, I wouldn't live for long regardless.
ソーニャは死を受け入れているの。
Have you not acknowledged your own death then?
死を受け入れる
What do you mean acknowledged?
死んでも仕方がないって思ってるってこと。
Do you feel that's going to happen no matter what?
はい選定が始まる前からです。ソーニャは自分が病気だと分かった時からずっといつか死ぬって分かってましたから。
Yes, I have. Even before divine selection began, I knew I would die as soon as I found out about my condition. That might explain the sadness in her smile earlier. I'm not sure whether the doctors or her parents told her, but she's likely been informed of how long she has to live multiple times. But just by looking at her, I can tell that she's been raised with love. However, her inevitable death has probably been looming over her head ever since she found out. Just because she knows and has accepted her death doesn't mean she isn't scared to face it, of course. It must have been tough for you. I pat her head. I should have learned with Keiko that getting attached to other participants is dangerous, yet I can't stop myself. Sonya likely gave up on her life and chose to act like she's fine for the sake of her parents and those around her. I refuse to believe that she's truly accepted it, though. Her expression right now proves it to me.
死ぬのは分かっていたことであります。だから辛くないと思っていたでありますが。
I knew what was in store for me for a long time, so I told myself that things weren't tough.
本当に辛くないのか今は分からないで。
But now I'm not so sure. I don't have the means to provide her with true salvation. I do feel for her though. No one should have to go through what she has at such a young age, but I can't give my own life in exchange. I can't forget that I just met her today too. We're not even friends, and yet for some reason I'm racking my brain for her sake. This entire time she's been wearing a peculiar expression on her face. She doesn't truly understand her feelings yet. Not that I can blame her. I'm in the same boat. Levi has disappeared at some point during our chat. The light reflects off its empty milk bowl, casting a strong shadow. I spend the rest of the time just patting Sonya's head. Ah. Good morning. What?
お姉様起きてくださいであります。
It is time to wakey wakey. I struggle to muffle my own voice as I hear someone else's shouting into my ear. The voice belongs to none other than Sonya. She revealed last night that she has no lodging plan, so I agreed to let her stay here to avoid her having to roam the streets.
しかし驚きました。漫画喫茶という宿泊施設にすぐ泊まれるものかと思っていたでありますから。
I was surprised you let me stay though. I was under the impression that I could stay at one of those so-called manga cafes with ease.
その偏った知識はネットで得たんだよね、多分。漫画喫茶って別にホテルじゃないからさ。
Sounds to me like you've been browsing the internet too much, young lady. Besides, those aren't exactly hotels in the first place. She tilts her head inquisitively in response to my surprise. I know a lot of people do stay overnight at them, but I can't see anyone getting a good night's sleep on a chair. That, and I doubt they'd let a kid in bed so late at
お
night.
姉様、よかったのでありますか？
Are you okay with your decision, though? She tilts her head in the opposite direction, this time with wide and hopeful eyes. She was referring to a promise I made with her last night. I promised to give her a tour of Japan, even if it's a brief one. She may be able to speak Japanese, but this is still a whole new culture for her. That and...
一人よりも二人の方が楽しいでしょ。
It'll be a lot more fun with two people, won't it?
お姉様、
Sister.
優しい人に出会えて、ソーニャは嬉しいです。それだけでも日本に来た甲斐があるってあります。
I'm glad I came across someone as kind as you. That alone makes coming to Japan worth it.
感動するのはちゃんと思い出を作ってからにしなね。日本って言っても東京だけだから案内できるところは少ないけどさ。
Say that for after you've made some good memories. Don't forget that we're staying within Tokyo. There's a good meaning behind doing this during divine selection. So long as I survive, her memories and experiences in Japan won't disappear.
でも昨日言った通り学校があるから夕方に新宿駅で待ち合わせだよ。
Oh, and don't forget I've got to go to school, so we need to meet at Senjoku Station in the evening.
書いてあります。
Understood. She smiles and raises an arm into the air as part of her enthusiastic reply. If only I had realized then what it was she kept hidden behind her smile. Okay.
おはようリンカ。
Hello, Miharu. I hope you're doing well today. Let's see. Save there. Good morning, Rinka.
おはたん。
Morini.
うん。
Good morning.
あ、今の実はおはようリータンを略したんだよ。
Yo, did you notice that I turned morning Rinny into one word? Coming to school has helped me to settle down lately. Being reminded I've still got a regular life despite everything does wonders for my mental state.
無視。
Aww, you're gonna ignore it?
どんな反応を期待してたんだ。
What kind of reaction were you expecting from me?
じゃ、おやすみ。
Well, good night, my friends.
くす。相変わらずの魔王を見ると安心するね。
It's always a touch relieving to see Mao act as she always does. Mao lets the comment fly over her head and sprawls out of her desk instead. I believe she's pulled another all-nighter. If that's the case, good luck waking her up before lunchtime. It's impossible for me to not smile at her, at that freedom of hers. No matter what happens, I'd always have this place, yeah.
ねえみー、うち昼飯だね。寝てる。
Screw lunch. I'm so tired, so back to sleep I go.
ということだから二人で屋上に行こうか。
Well then, we may as well go up to the rooftop.
そうだね。って今日は特に眠そうだけど何してたの？
Yeah, what have you been up to that makes you this tired though?
ネットでドラマの一挙放送を見てたら朝だったんだよ。
Stayed up watching a drama, cause they were airing the whole thing at once online. By the time it was over, there was the sun.
え？じゃあ寝てないの？
Wait, so you didn't get any sleep at all?
だから今寝てるのだよ。
That's why I'm sleeping now. Yeah, she's out of the game. Miharu seems to be thinking the same thing. Yes. So what do you want to be on the rooftop for then, huh?
二人きりになるのは随分久しぶりの気がするね。
Maybe at the amusement park. When was the last time the two of us managed to get time alone like this? We make our way up to the rooftop after buying lunch. Miharu is eating light as usual. Today really is one of those perfect days for sitting up here, and yet the fact that we're the only ones doing it proves that we really are avoided by others. To be honest, I feel like there's more of a blessing than a curse these days.
選定が始まってからもまだこういう時間が取れることが僕は嬉しいよ。
I have to admit, I'm happy that we can spend some time together like this, even while divine selection is happening. She accompanies her comment with that usual charming smile of hers. I'm happy too.
私も嬉しいよ。
I'm happy about it too.
リンカ、
Rinka,
きっと美晴も選定のことでいろいろ苦労してるよね。でもそういうのを忘れて。
you're probably going through some tough times thanks to
ゆっくり
Miss.
お昼を食べられるっていうのはとても嬉しい。
You're probably going through some tough times thanks to this whole situation as well, so just being able to sit here and forget about it for a while really is nice.
僕はとても幸せだ。やっぱり僕はリンカの笑顔のためにずっと。
I really meant what I said. I know that I'll do everything I can for the sake of your sm-
そういう話は今はやめとこう。
Let's not get into that for the time being. Miharu's expression as she declared her intention to give her life and mine flashes across my mind all of a sudden. I've gotten over a lot of things lately, but that's not one of them.
失礼した。ところで君に聞きたかったんだけれど。
Oh, sorry. Well, do you mind if I ask you something? She changed the topic before preparing to bite into her sandwich.
羊さんとは最近会っていないのかい？
You haven't been meeting with Naomi recently, have you? It's a pretty standard question, but her face looks deadly serious.
もうコーヒーの入れ方はバッチリだから、ナオミの方も本格的に文化祭の準備で忙しくなるしね。
She's gotten really good at brewing coffee now, so there's no need for me to keep coaching her. Besides, she's busy with culture festival preparations.
何かあったね。
Something's happened between you two, right? I haven't told Miharu that Naomi was helping me out. That would put unnecessary pressure on them both. And it's why I've no idea how to answer her question. Miharu persists despite my hesitation, though.
羊さんは一般人だ。僕がリンカに協力するというのとはわけが違うよ。
There's a stark difference between asking another participant like me for help as opposed to someone uninvolved like
危
her.
険なことは分かっているから、君は羊さんを遠ざけたのだろう。それが正解だ。
You realized how dangerous things could get, and then you decided to put some distance between you, correct? It was a right
ど
call.
うしてそれを知っているかというのは聞かないでほしいよ。僕は少なくとも人間関係においてリンカほど察しが悪くないからね。
Don't ask how I know about this, though. I just need you to understand that I'm not as dense as you when it comes to how people interact with one another.
君に会いに行く羊さんの目はそうだな。先週から随分と変わっていた。使命感に満ちていたというべきかもしれないね。
Naomi's attitude has been very different than usual. Starting with last week, you could say that she looked like she had a true purpose motivating her.
そうだね。ミハルに隠しても。
I guess I shouldn't have tried to hide it from you.
君が僕や魔王を気遣ってくれたことはよくわかっている。気にしなくていい。
Don't worry about that. I'm aware that you did it with me and Mao in mind.
ありがとう。
Thanks, Miharu.
でもミハルの言う通り、ナオミに調べ物とか手伝ってもらうのはやめたよ。これからは一人で頑張るから。
But you're right. I made sure that she won't help me out anymore. I'll handle the rest on my own.
僕に頼ってくれてもいいのにな。
Miharu, stop getting romantic with Rinka. If only you'd asked me for help, but no. Huh?
ちょっと待って。
Wait. Miharu casts her eyes over to the entrance and then speaks to me in a whisper.
誰かがこっちを見てる。物音がした。
We're being watched. I heard a noise coming from over there just now.
生徒じゃないの？
You sure it's not another
だ
student?
ったら問題ないよ。でも
That wouldn't be an issue.
そうじゃなかったら。
But what if it's not? The implication is clear. We can't discount the possibility of another participant having made their way into the school to keep an eye on us.
僕が扉を開ける。
I'll open the door.
いや、一緒に行こう。二人の方がいいと思う。
No, let's open it together. We're best off in the worst case scenario that way. She nods and we make our way to the door under the pretense that we're heading back to class. We don't hear any footsteps, so it's likely they are still there. As it turns out, our guess is right in the money. Sona?
お前は
You're...
お腹が
Oh my goodness sakes again.
であります。
Sister, my stomach has reached its limit yet again. Oh, I just fed you so much last night.
どういうこと？
Mind explaining this? Miharu directs her question at me.
話すとちょっと長くなるんだけど。
Well, this will take a while to explain. This is one of those rare times where I can't help but clap my hands on top of my head in a panic.
リンカ、今回ばかりは君をバカと言わずにはいられないよ。
Sorry, Rinka, but even I have to point out how dumb this situation is.
甘んじて受け入れる。
Yeah, I'm well aware.
はわここが噂に聞くメイド喫茶でありますね。
Wowie, so this is a maid cafe? I've heard much about them. Sona wanders around the store taking every aspect of it. I suppose this isn't the kind of place you'd find in Russia. In an ideal world, I wouldn't have come here. Not to say that maid cafes are bad in general, but I don't really like standing out amongst a predominantly male customer base. Plenty of anime and manga are set in schools, so there seems to have led Sonya to take an interest in what they really like. They are really like. Seems she had to enroll in a correspondence school due to her condition, which meant that she'd never actually had the chance to go to a physical school. As such, going to one was part of being able to see the world at large in her eyes. That's why she snuck into a matcha high to watch what I was doing. I figured she would have been caught doing so, but she gave this excuse.
忍者の勉強をしていましたからバッチリであります。
I trained myself in the art of a ninja, so I had no issues. She makes some wacky hand gestures at the same time. Apparently they're from an anime that had aired while I was in elementary school.
友人の僕としては君が優しい人であることを誇るべきなのかもしれないけれどね。
Your kindness is something I should be proud of as a friend, but
いや、もうフォローとか辛くなるからやめて。
you're going to do more damage than you think if you finish that sentence. Miharu is obviously baffled, so I could only give her a timid response. Lunch break ended not long after we discovered Sonya, so we had to get her to lay low somewhere until school was over. On our way back, I explained, but I let her stay at my place. Once Miharu mentioned that she had to go back to work, the topic shifted to what Miharu's job entailed. Sonya's odd impressions about certain parts of Japan had led her to believe that maid cafes represent the country just as much as places like Kiyomitsu Temple, so she's pretty much forced us to take her.
もっとも君はあの子を気にかけたことを
You
後
don't
悔はしていないのだよね。
You don't regret your decision, do you? I don't.
ならやはり僕はリンカを誇ろう。
In that case, I can still say I'm proud of you. Sonya makes her way back to our table just as we wrap up our conversation. There are a number of ornaments and notes littering the store, so it's not uncommon for customers to leave their seats. However, it certainly is odd for a girl her age to be wandering around a store like this. That's why all eyes are on us when she returns.
そういえばメイドさんって普通家事をするんですよね。あれはどうして高校生なのにメイドさんなのでありますか？
Age. Understanding as well. Maids are normally in charge of household chores, correct? Why did you become one when you're only in high school?
僕はただのアルバイトだからね。そもそも君の思うようなメイドは日本にはいないよ。
I'm only working part-time. Also, you won't find the kind of maid you're imagining here in Japan.
そんな。
Come on, no need to crush her dreams.
なるほどであります。てっきりミハルも魔法少女なのかと思っていました。
Oh, I see. And here I was thinking you were secretly magical girl Miharu.
それより僕の名前。いや、
Ah.
リンカが呼んでいたのは聞いたのか。
Indeed, but not the second, just the forename, not the surname. More importantly, how do you know my net? Oh, you must have overheard Rinka using it.
お姉様、この特製パンケーキって何
Why
で
is
すか？
this so-called special pancake?
おここにもあるんだ、こういうの。パンケーキにメイドさんが絵を描いて美味しくなる呪文を唱えてくれます。だって。
Yuck, they got those here? Basically, the maid draws something on it and recites a spell to make it taste delicious.
それは面白そうでありますね。一つお願いするであります。
A spell? How interesting. I'll have one then. The entire store gasps in horror upon hearing her request.
待ってくれ。
Hold on.
リンカ、そのメニューはいささか僕のキャラクターとは違っていてね。できることなら断りたいところなんだ。
Rinka, that menu option doesn't quite fit with my character here, so ideally I'd be able to refuse a request.
あ、そうなんだ。
Not that I blame you.
ああ、このパンケーキ自体は特別美味しいものではない。5000円の価値は毛頭ない。どこに付加価値があるか想像はついていると思う。
Right, let's just say that those pancakes aren't particularly good in the first place. Certainly not worth a 5,000 yen price tag. I assume you know why they're so expensive.
このメニューはまさに客単価を上げようとする店長の策略だ。経営の正常化のために民家にはこの悪徳商法に加担しないでほしいところだね。
Moreover, this particular menu exists solely to squeeze more money out of single customers. Oh, customers that are single, eh? I'd rather not have you enable the manager's wrecked business tactics.
そうにゃ、食べられない
No,
って
you.
ありますか？
No, Sonya, you do not.
残念だけれどね。あるいは僕ではない他のスタッフを呼べばいい。
Unfortunately not. Unless you're willing to ask someone other than me. Just then, the manager calls Miharu over. I guess he noticed our little conversation. Her expression upon returning is an awkward mix of anger and despair. She places a tray with a pancake on our table and then dawdles something on it using a chocolate pen. A stuffed animal shaped to look similar to the one Sonya carries.
素晴らしいってあります。ほらパサジール、あなたってありますよ。
Amazing! Look, Pasha, it's you.
呪文はこの後かけてくれるの
Are you
で
going
す
to
か？
Are you going to cast a spell on it for me next?
民家の前でこれをやらなくてはならないというのだね。悪いが僕は君を一生恨むよ。
I need to do this in front of Rinka? Sorry, but I'm going to curse you for the rest of my life now. Miharu shoots Sonya the most evil glare I've seen from her. It's not the kind of expression you normally show to a child. She then turns to me, looking more serious than I've ever seen.
いいかい？僕が今からやるのはあくまで仕事だよ。だからリンカも店を出たら見なかったことにしてほしい。
You listening, Rinka? What I'm about to do is only a part of this job, okay? That's why I need you to forget all about it once you leave. She looks ever so tense. Hearing that causes all sorts of scenarios to run through my head, which leads me to feel embarrassed on her behalf before she even does it. She inhales sharply and lifts her index fingers into the air.
美味しくなーれ。
Yummy, yummy pancake for your tummy. Love heart. She spins her index fingers in the air a few times before creating the shape of a heart by clapping both hands together, which then she then thrusts out toward the pancake.
日本の魔法少女を見ることができたであります。
I have finally borne witness to one of Japan's magical girls at work. Sonya is likely oblivious to the emotions Miharu is keeping tucked away behind that smile. Excuse me. Instead, she is tickled pink that she's gotten to witness something so rare. Meanwhile, Miharu hasn't moved an inch after striking her pose. She does all in her power to not make eye contact with me.
可愛かったよ。
But that was really cute.
屈辱だ。
I've never let this one down. I couldn't bring myself to look her in the eyes when I muttered that earlier, so Miharu covers her face in shame and runs off to the back room.
お姉様、どうしましたか？
Why is your face all
顔が赤い
red?
ですね。
Oh, Sonya, just wait until you're older, but at the same time, unfortunately, you can't.
なんだろう。私がもっと必死で止めてあげればよかったのかな。
I feel guilty. I should have tried harder to stop her. Once Sonya finished her meal, I made sure to get our bill right away. Speaking of her bill, Sonya pays using the credit card she has on her. It's the only reason I let her order in the first place. As we are about to leave, Miharu returns from the back room. She's back in her school uniform. It would seem she manages to get off early for the day, although I make sure not to ask how or why.
そうにゃ、秋葉原の街並みも見てみたいです。
I want to look around Akihabara.
そっか。行きたいって言ってたもんね。でも私よく知らないけど。
Okay. make sure to visit the really famous Future Gadget laboratory there. Although the times themselves will probably not be good, as this is another game. Oh yeah, you mentioned that. I'm not too familiar with Akihabara though.
構わない。僕も付き添おう。それでいいだろ、リンカ。
Then I'll join you. You're fine with that, aren't you, Rinka? Miharu comes here often, so we'd be better off having her guide us.
それに、僕は君を完全に信用したわけではないからね。部活に二人きりにはさせられない。
Besides, it's not like I trust you yet. I'd rather not leave the two of you alone. I can't call Miharu out, not even for her harsh tone. While I trust Sonya, I'm still aware of the risks involved in her being involved with her being like this.
ミハルが案内してくれるのでありますか？ソーニャ、たくさん見たいものがあります。
Are you taking us in? There's lots and lots I want to see. Sonya shows little care for our concerns in that regard.
いけないね。本当に。
She really is brimming with innocence, isn't she? Having decided what to do next, we're finding the Maid Cafe. Cool. Senjuku Station is packed due to everyone making their way home from work. The three of us take the subway line from Akihabara back to Shinju, and then get off so we make our respective transfers.
まさか、あれほどに付き合わされるとは思わなかったね。
I guess we did do the trip. I didn't think we'd spend that much time there.
ソーニャ、ホクホクです。
It was great! By the time we finished touring Akihabara, I am beat. I usually only ever get off there to make a quick transfer, so I honestly had no idea what it'd be like. I noticed tons of anime and electronic stores while we walked around. Sonya kept stopping in front of and going into stores that caught her interest, so safe to say that she pretty much dragged us wherever she wanted.
お姉様、せっかく日本にいるのに素晴らしいアニメ文化を知らなすぎであります。
Maybe because not everyone is interested in anime. Your knowledge of Japan's wonderful anime is lacking, sister. What a waste.
子供の頃にはそれなりに見てたんだけど、随分たくさんあるよね。アニメじゃなくて漫画だったらもう少し分かったんだけど、それでもソーニャたちほどではないかな。
I used to watch a fair bit when I was younger, but I didn't realize just how much there is. If it were manga, I'd know a bit more, but not as much as you two.
ミハルを見習ってください。
You should learn from Miharu.
僕はバイトの関係上、積極的に勉強するようにしているからね。愛嬌を振りまくにも話を合わせる必要がある。
I make sure to keep up to date thanks to my job. It's easier to please the customers when you can talk about things, these things with them. When I think about it, I've barely watched any anime at all recently. I've kept myself busy by helping out with the store, and my time's tied up in it even more now that I'm in charge of it.
さっきも言っていたけれど、リンカは少女漫画を読んでいたよね。
You read a fair amount of shoujo manga, don't you?
そうだね。マオからよく借りてたし。
Yeah, I've borrowed a decent amount from Mao.
お姉様は怖く見えますが、乙女チックなのでありますね。
He may look scary, but deep down you still like girly things.
そこがいいのだけれどね。
It's one of the best things about her.
いや、怖く見えるってとこを否定してほしいんだけど。
Hey, shouldn't you be denying that I look scary? As we make our way back to the subway entrance, Miharu follows alongside us, which is odd for her considering she should have gone in the opposite direction at Akihabara to get home. When I decided to ask her why she's taken on, she answers with a smile.
僕も君の家に泊まるからさ。
Wah? It's simple. I'll be staying over at your place tonight as well.
君とソフィアを二人きりにするのはまだ危険だと思っているからね。
Leaving you and Sophia alone is still a bit too dangerous after all.
え？だって明日平日だよ。
Tomorrow's a weekday, you know.
構わないよ。明日の早朝に一度戻って準備をすればいい。僕はソフィアがリンカの寝首をかかないか見届けられればいいからね。
I can make my way back home early in the morning. That is, after I make sure Sophia doesn't take you out while you're sleeping.
ちょっとそんな言い方。
Hey now, no need to say it like that.
かくお姉様かゆいですか？
No, we're talking about what it feels like to be punched or
さすがの
maybe
君
you're.
もその言葉は知らないか。まあいい。言ったろ。僕は君のことをまだ信用していない。
Well, you're a bit too young to understand the meaning behind it, but as I said before, I still don't trust you.
しょぼんってあります。
Aww. She looks sad at first, but then flips right back to her bright
で
expression.
もそのおかげでいっぱい楽しいところに行けたであります。
I did get to visit a lot of fun places thanks to that.
明日も観光するのだろう。僕もついていく。明日も泊まらせてもらう。心配しなくても観光している間は純粋に楽しめるように努力するよ。
Well, you've already done that, Miharu. You're taking her somewhere else tomorrow, right? In that case, I'll join. Naturally, I'll be staying overnight again too, but don't worry, I'll do what I can to not sour the experience for her. Alright?
私はいいけど、ミハルの家の人大丈夫なの？
I'm fine with it, but what about your mum? She hesitates before nodding her head and telling me it'll be fine. With that sorted out, we discuss where to go tomorrow as we make our way back. Miharu never appeared openly hesitant, or hostile towards Sonya today, but you could tell things were a bit awkward. As like with other
ミハル
participants.
のハンバーグとっても美味しかったであります。
That Salisbury steak was delicious, Miharu. Sonya feels the need to praise Miharu for her cooking after we head up to my room after dinner. Miharu was one to propose making it on our way home, in all honesty.
とっても美味しかった。話には聞いてたけど、予想以上に料理上手って感じだったな。
It really
ごち
was.
そうさま。
I'd heard that you were a good cook, but this was somehow even better than expected.
大したことはないさ。毎日料理をしているとそれなりにうまくなるものさ。
It's hard not to improve when you cook on a daily basis.
リンカは僕の手料理を食べたことがなかっただろう。いい機会だと思ってね。
And it
明
was
日
a
は君の手料理を食べたいな。
and it was a good opportunity to let you taste my cooking for the first time. Now I can look forward to trying yours.
いいけど、あんまり期待しないでね。
Sure, but don't set your expectations too high. It's funny, but I cook every day too. Granted, most of the time I buy a number of small meals and mix them together. I usually stick to simple things, so that's probably why I've never seemed to get any better. As for the food on the Lighthouse menu, I can only make that thanks to my grand's recipes. Next, we take our respective turns in the bath, and then spend the night watching TV and chatting away. No. What time is it? I could tell it's not morning yet, but for some reason I've woken up. Huh? So I'm getting right, and I realise what it is immediately. Neither Miharu nor Sonya are anywhere in sight. I figure something's up, and then I hear voices coming from downstairs. Fearing the worst, I make my way to the stairs. I stop halfway down though. I'm not sure what they're talking about, but Miharu sounds rather serious. She obviously doesn't want me hearing or knowing what they're talking about if she took Sonya downstairs with her. I realise that listening in on other people's conversation isn't admirable, and yet I can't bring myself to go back to my room.
分かっているね。
Don't you?
はい。
Yes. I can hear them clearly once Miharu seems to change the subject.
やはりおかしいね。
As I thought, something isn't quite right.
何か
How so?
リンカが君の前で僕の名前を呼ぶ前から、君は僕の名前を呼んでいた。知っていた。
You called me by name before Rinka ever said it in front of you. That means you already knew it.
結論から聞くよ。君は僕の使命のカードを持っているね。
I ask us already know the answer, but you have my name card, don't you?
すみません。
I'm sorry.
どうして謝る？
Why are you apologizing?
あなたのカードを持っていたのに黙
Because
っていたからであります。
because I never told you about having it.
調子が狂うな。
You're already throwing me for a loop. Miharu sighs and massages her brow with her fingers.
分かった。もういい。だがこれだけは覚えていてほしい。僕は
Fine,
三島
whatever.
美春さん。
just remember this. My name is Mishima Miharu.
はい。ミハルはミハルでありますね。
I won't deny that.
面白いな君は。
You're an interesting kid, you know that. Miharu's name card. I know her full name, and yet somehow I don't have it. That can only mean that her real name is something other than what I know her as. Well, it's not too surprising when you consider her circumstances at home. It's also why I've never asked her about it.
聞いているねリンカ。
I know you're up there, Rinka. Huh?
お姉様。
Sister? I cover my mouth by reflex when Miharu calls my name, despite knowing that it would make a snapping sound.
僕が君の息遣いに気づかないはずないだろ。
Did you honestly think that I, of all people, wouldn't notice the sound of your breathing? Yeah. Miharu definitely has romantic feelings for Rinka. Sorry.
僕は今日謝られてばかりだね。まあいい。
Oh, really
ど
now?
こから話を聞いていたか
Just like the other thing earlier.
忘れてくれ。
No short of apologies for me today, huh? I'm not sure how much you heard, but either way, do me a favor and forget about
ソ
it.
フィアも深夜に起こして悪かったね。上へ戻ろう。眠れるだけ眠っておいた方がいい。
And Sophia, sorry for making you wake up in the middle of waking you up in the middle of the night. You need as much sleep as you can get. So let's go back upstairs. Yeah, okay. I want to discuss things with Miharu now that the cat's out of the bag, but we decided it's best to go back to my room after watching Sonya let out a big yawn. Basically, I don't get to find out anything regarding Miharu's name card. School ends up flying by somehow. That's where we're going to end it off for today, folks. So, thank you so much for watching, and we're going to be seeing each other in the next time of this fanatical adventure. Have a wonderful day, and take care of yourselves.